Oh my gosh, hello! Welcome to the start of another vlog. Today is freaking gorgeous out. It is 60 degrees, a little bit windy, but who cares? If this is really bad audio, I guess I'll find out when I edit, but whatever. So, yep, I'm gonna pause this till I get in my car. Yeah, so that was a disaster. Was all like, I'll just, record while I walk, and then I walked around the corner of the building and it was just like, oh, well, anyway, today, friends, it is a beautiful Monday. Like I was saying, it's gorgeous. Almost all the snow is gone. Praise him. So happy. Still sick. Not feeling sick though, but it's hanging on. Gives me such a deep resonated tone. But anyway, what's happening this week? I have some reading goals and I'm going to do my best. One, I need to finish Killing November, which is, I don't know what's happening with my aperture, but whatever. Which is an e-arc that I'm reading. The book already came out, so I'm actually tempted to stop and pick it up because I really like what I've read so far. And here's the thing, for all of the e-arcs I read, I don't do well reading thriller, adventures, or fantasy on my e-arc. If it's romance or contemporary, I'm good with it. But there's just something about those genres that I like to hold the book. And I don't know why. Usually with fantasy, it's because there's maps or other, logs that you want to get to. Just realized I have the heat on because it was cold this morning, but it's not now. And so I think I might just buy it because I like it so far. I like it enough to purchase it, so I probably will. And then, oh my gosh. And then I need to get some eldest done, and I need to keep reading A Curse So Dark and Lonely and Hungry. So obviously I'm not going to get through all of those. I am going to prioritize reading Killing November and Hungry because Hungry is pretty short, and so I don't want to fall too behind on that one. But then I need to stay caught up with eldest because at some point I need to read The Great Hunt with Murphy whenever Murphy's ready, and then that'll be the only thing I read because that book is huge. So I'm just all over the place. And after last week where I hardly read anything because it was depressed sick, where it was just nothing sounds great, so there's that. And then on audio I have both Warbreaker and Nemesis. I have 7 books started right now, and I don't know which one to focus on. So I'm just going to play Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo and dive into one and put everything into that. So that's where we're at. I just ordered some sushi because I'm feeling treating myself after being sick. So that's what we're getting. And then I'm going to head home and do some reading. So talk to you later. Hey guys, it's Tuesday and I actually have some progress to share. I kind of got a reading bug the other night, and I did go and buy Killing November and finished it last night. I kind of pushed myself. I was falling asleep on my couch, and I was like, I'm not going to spend a whole nother night just sitting at home watching TV. I stare at all these books around me, and I just get overwhelmed, which sounds funny because I ended up going to Barnes & Noble then. I bought a hard copy of Killing November. I'd been reading that as an e-arc for the last 9 days. And I got myself a chai latte and I sat down and finished it. And then I came home and I was in the mood to keep reading. And as I've shared before, one of the ways that I keep reading is as soon as I finish something else, I get something else started. And I started A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and I'm this far already. So this is one of my book club reads with Murphy, and this book is just too readable to only read 3 chapters a day. That's how this one is broken up. This was supposed to be a 3-week read for us, but it is so readable. I am at the halfway point, and I'm going to read another chunk of it before I go to bed, and I'll probably finish this, probably not tonight, but hopefully tomorrow, because I'm free tomorrow as well, which would be so great. It would be so nice to tick another, one of the books that's actually on my TBR off my list because I've gotten so distracted with other things, which is fine. I want to keep to my commitments, but also I'm here to read what I want. Excuse me. Not to, stick so tightly that I don't want to read anything. Like, this isn't a homework assignment. But anyway, Curse So Dark and Lonely, I'm sure you've heard about it. At least I know some of my followers have, because you're reading it with me in Murphy's Book Club. This is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast with a couple twists, as they all do. You know, you wouldn't just tell a straight up like, that would just be the same story. This is about a girl named Harper who is living in DC, has a tough family life. She has cerebral palsy, so she has a mild form of it, which means that she just has some, like, muscle problems. So far, that's all that there's been. And then we have Ren, who is the prince in a land that is cursed, and he repeatedly has girls brought to him. He tries to get them to fall in love with him, and when it doesn't work, he turns into a beast and kills people and people in his land. And yeah, it's kind of rough. And this is his last chance to get this girl to fall in love with him. But Harper is not like other girls. She catches Gray, his Ren's commander, trying to take a girl back. Usually they, you know, persuade them in some way. And then, I mean, the castle's great. It has food and a place to stay. And they usually take people who are living on the street. And so it's a nice thing. And she hits Gray over the head. And then Gray takes her instead. And so she does not want to be there. She straight up calls him a kidnapper. She tries to attack them. But they end up, something ends up happening. I'll stop now. I don't need to give you a full breakdown of it. But I am loving it so much. It is so readable. Harper is a BA woman. Like, she will take no crap. She constantly reminds them that, like, they kidnapped her, so why should she try to fall in love with him? Why should she try to be anything but hostile when they have kidnapped her? And she has a mother and a brother at home, and they have no idea where she is, and she has no idea how to get back, because the doorway between the two worlds is only open at the beginning of the season when Gray goes to get a girl. So there's no way for her to leave. So anyway, it is so readable. Bridget Kimmerer, what can this woman not do? There are so many shades of, like, her other stories in there, having, you know, like, kids who are struggling and dealing with a lot, with different disabilities and different, like, family situations. And so there's those, like, notes of that within this fantasy story, and I just love it. Now, I've talked way too long, guys, you know me, but I'm going to probably finish this week and then just have to wait for the rest of the buddies to catch up with me. So that's always a thing. But anyway, I will talk to you soon. Bye, gang. So I'm checking in a lot more this week, but here's the secret. It's because I'm actually kind of, like, reading a lot. So that's been fun. I finished A Curse So Dark and Lonely, like, a couple hours ago, and I'm still really shook. Oh, it has such a cliffhanger. Oh my gosh. I might need to make a full review for it because I want to talk about spoilers really bad. So I might need to do a review and spoiler review for that one. So, but I need to process just a little bit more. But I think I might have to. That buddy read was supposed to take 3 weeks, and I finished it in 3 days. So, but hey, that's how books are supposed to be for me. Lately, there's been a lot of books I've been reading where they've been taking a long time, unless it's like a trashy romance, which I like, you know, read really fast. And I just love getting sucked into a good book, and it had everything I wanted. It's a YA fantasy. There's lots of tension. There's a kick-ass heroine. There is a curse. There is, you know, boys that we have tension with, but, like, we hate one of them, and the other one we don't really trust that much. And we have a kingdom on the brink of destruction, and it was just so exciting. And there's monsters, and there's an evil witch, and I love it. So you can tell by my excitement. That book was everything I wanted, and, like, I'm mad I didn't read it right away, but I'm also happy because now I have less months to wait because I'm one of those people. But oh, I loved it so much. And now I'm just sitting around waiting for the rest of my buddy readers to, like, get there. I feel like a lot of them will finish it pretty quickly because it's very addicting. And so, yeah, I finished that. So now I'm trying to get into Hungry, which is the book you guys picked for me to read. I am 70 pages into it, and I was giving myself a 100-page limit because The first 15 pages, I like had to read them like 3 times because the world is so weird. And it also felt a little like tech shaming in the beginning. You know, that like 2013, 2014 when we were all yelling at, you know, why are you on your phone so much? Oh my God. And now we've just like accepted it. So when you read a book from like, I mean, this is 5 years ago where they're like shaming people for using their tech all the time, it's just a little bit cheesy because you're like, okay, they obviously didn't know that this was like really going to be the thing. And then it's also just a weird, it's just a weird vibe. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's one of those dystopians where they're all weird, but so I don't know. I don't want to talk too much because this vlog's going to be super long, but I figured I'd just keep popping in when I finish stuff because why not? I also, since I finished A Curse So Dark and Lonely, I need to start The Great Hunt. Which is another behemoth and just scares me. But, I mean, I want to read it. It's just so daunting. Which is why I keep getting distracted with other books. But that's okay. So, that's how the reading week is going. Keep checking in. Like, why am I even going to need to wrap up at the end of the week? But I don't care. You guys like my vlogs. I like talking to you like this. It makes me feel less alone and crazy in my apartment. But A Curse So Dark and Lonely, guys. I'm going to be gushing about that one a lot. And also I heard some really like sketchy reviews about it, which is why it took me so long. But I just got to remember, like, I don't grade books the same way other people do. Like, I am almost, you know, you see my rating system, like, I'm almost completely on enjoyment. Like, I do not like technically pick books apart. Like, if I'm technically picking your book apart, it's because I'm bored out of my mind, and that's a bad sign. Like, I want to get swept up in all of the entertainment and the excitement of the story, and that's why I love YA the most, is because it's generally more about enjoyment than about trying to like teach you something. So anyway, that's enough ranting. I'm gonna get back to my lonely reading life. Bye. Hey friends, so it's the end of the week and time to do a little bit of a wrap up here. Sorry for the mess. I have friends over, so I slept on the couch last night, and I'm also talking a little quieter because they're sleeping over there. But yeah, it was a really productive week this week. I'm really proud of like the reading progress I made, mostly because I read some really great books, but I also have some disappointing news near the end. So let's go through. First off, I finished A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I already talked about that, I think. I flew through this. I really loved it. This was so exciting. I loved the characters. I loved the different relationships that were happening. I really felt for Ren and like the situation that he's in, and I really loved Harper and her spunk and her strength, and she was just the coolest heroine. Like, she was so great. This ended on kind of a cliffhanger in my opinion. Not a lot of people, like, I don't know, I see like really mixed reviews for this, which I guess I can get, but also I am totally hooked for more. Like, I want to know what happens next. I'm totally fine with there being more to this story, and I can't wait. So I had a great experience. I gave this 5 stars because it was thrilling to read, and I couldn't put it down. I read it so fast. Next, I finally finished Killing November, which I have an e-arc for this, but I was dragging my feet, so I ended up like buying the hardcover because I really liked it, and I was like, well, since you took too long to read it, why don't you support the author and buy it? That's how it goes in my head. I really liked this. This one also is the beginning of a series. It was a little hard there in the middle, just because the setup was a little more ridiculous than I was expecting, like in a good way, because it's a spy / like teaching the not world leaders, but like world manipulators, and so it's just a weird place to get sent. But once you start figuring it out, it was kind of like a Hogwarts for spies, is what I said. Like there are these families, they're named after animals. So I definitely feel like the author took some experience from that, but like that's where it stops. Like these are, and it's a house full of Slytherins is what I kept saying to myself, and I liked that. Like I found a book to go into my Slytherin Hogwarts house thing, and that's really cool. But I really love November. She's a really good person, and it was fun to read from her as she like figures out all these people that are not good people or are hiding things, and it was very fun. So I really like this. I gave this 4 stars just because it was a really slow beginning, and a few of the things were just too unbelievable for me to like buy into. Since this isn't a fantasy, it's like a thriller, it's a mystery, and some of the things I just couldn't buy into. Next, I'm still making, I move this forward here, I'm still making steady progress with Nemesis. I'm like halfway through. This book is really hard to explain, but there's these 2 different kids, Noah and, just forgot her name. Noah and Melinda, and every 2 years they get murdered, and then they come back, and nobody believes them. They think that they're crazy. They have to go to a psychiatrist for it. And Noah, he completely believes that he's crazy. He doesn't want to live without a psychiatrist. He needs to see him all the time. And Min, she believes that people are lying to her. So there's these 2 different things. And also this book starts on the day that like the world is supposed to end. Like a comet is supposed to hit them and like destroy everything. And so there's just a lot of dynamics going. I don't know any more than that because I'm not done, but I'm listening to this on audio and I made pretty good progress, so I wanted to mention it. And then finally, kind of the most disappointing is Hungry, which is the pick that you guys picked for me to read. I haven't done a great job of explaining this because it's really confusing to me, and I don't, like, I mean, I've explained it, what it's about. Like, it's a world where we don't eat food anymore, and, like, food is outlawed. And I don't understand why when I'm reading it. And also, there's a huge case of insta-love. Like, one of the worst I've seen. Like, I'm someone who I can usually get on board with it. Really, like, I don't mind insta-love as much as some other booktubers or readers do. But this one was really bad. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. And like I'm halfway through and I don't even I don't understand anything. And this is a standalone book, so I feel like because it is, like, I should know more by now. And also I'm really struggling to want to pick it up. I was only going to give it 100 pages, and then I was like, oh, but my subscribers picked this, I need to push further. But I mean, I think it says something about the book as well if I can't finish it. It's definitely, I think what I said in one of them is like, this was written in 2014, so it really like takes a lot from the dystopians of that time. Like, there are shades of, not the Hunger Games, surprisingly, but kind of like Divergent and a couple other dystopians from that time. And I just don't get it. And I think that because it's a standalone, I really should be into it by halfway through. So unfortunately, I am going to DNF this book. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I really want to finish it, but also I'm not going to force myself because it's like pushing me into a slump. Like, I finished those 2 like super fast, and the last 4 days of the week, I've been trying to finish this, and I just can't. Like, I even had a snow day, and I could read for 2 hours, and I probably read for like 15 minutes because I kept getting distracted. If I'm distracted by my phone, a book isn't good to me. So I'm going to have to DNF this one, and I feel so bad because I know you guys want to know more. But that's my opinion, is that there wasn't enough. So anyway, this vlog is ridiculously long. Sorry, not sorry. I had a lot to say this week, and I really had a fun reading week. So I'm going to end this here. Thank you so much for watching. I make new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you can watch some more right now. Bye.